Welcome back to the Morning Drill. 4 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. It is a Friday. Some rain in that forecast. If you're just joining us, we'll catch you up to what's happening with that forecast in just a little bit. But first, joining us this morning, Betty Squire. Good morning, Betty. How are you today?
I'm just fine, thank you, for a nice little rainy morning. But I understand we're going to get some sunshine, so good.
Possibly.
Possibly.
By June.
Well, I know.
We're not complaining, though.
No.
It's
Luke
washing
hasn't in with the weather department here.
Well, you know, we're getting the cars cleaned.
Well, see, I took my car through the car wash day before yesterday, and then yesterday it rained. So,
Yeah, well, I did too, so that makes two
what can
of
I
us.
tell you?
Rain Titusville, rain in Oil City
Right.
today. So.
Rain everywhere.
Yes.
Betty, hard to believe, but another season upon
know.
us here.
It's just unbelievable. You know, we've had a really tough winter. It's been rough on the grounds and everything down there, so we've got a lot of work to do. But we're getting excited because on Saturday, April the 12th, we have the Peter Cottontail Express will be coming to town, and that will be we'll be leaving the Perry Street Station at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody gets on board the train. They have an opportunity to talk with either Peter or Petra, whichever it may be. We have a local high school student who is going to be our bunny rabbit for this year. So this will be her second year, and she really, really enjoys it. So we're excited to see her come. We'll be traversing down through the valley for the first springtime ride, and it's really always a lovely time of the year because you get to see, you know, the unimpeded view of the valley with no leaves on yet. You get to see a lot of the old oil equipment that's still in the valley, and probably one of the most exciting things is watching for bald eagles as we go down through the valley. They soar right down Oil Creek, and quite often will follow right along with the train, believe it or not.
Oh, that's amazing.
So everybody always looks for those. But with the Peter Cottontail Express, the rabbit, quote unquote rabbit, I guess, talks to all the kids, takes photos with their grandparents and their parents, and her assistant gives them a little gift to remind them remembrance of the train ride. And then we always have a nice little drawing. We have I'd say about 20 assorted size stuffed rabbits and various animals that we'll have a little drawing for the kids on the train, and they always enjoy that. So
Now, this is the first run since what, December? Since the Santa run?
Since the Santa run, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, with the kind of winter we've had, what are crews doing now to make sure the tracks are cleared off and ready to go?
Well, they have a tremendous amount of things that are going on right now. First of all, within the society itself, we are going to be replacing some of the wheel sets on our railway post office car, which is the heart of our train. That's where our communication system is, and where we have our snacks and that type of stuff. So that will be offline from the bunny run till the start of the school runs. As far as the lines are going, there's always ties that have to be replaced, ballast that needs repaired, and just a myriad of construction items that are going on throughout the season, and gets a little dicey every now and then trying to get everything in into the time cycle that you need to have.
Right.
But
Now, how were the numbers last year?
Numbers were down about 2% last year, but we still had around 16,000 people ride.
Wow.
So that's a lot of people coming into the community, and that a good portion of them have to buy gasoline when they're here. They go to the restaurants, and they do help with the economy here. Even though people think it's just a train ride, but it really is an economic generator for the community.
Yeah, that's great.
And we have a lot of special events scheduled again for this season. Real excited about some of the other things that are coming up. We have we officially opened for the season on Saturday, June the 7th. And in June, we run on Saturday and Sunday only. And the first Saturday we're open, the Titusville Historical Society will have a one-day museum that will feature a lot of the things from their museum collection here in Titusville. And then on the 14th, they're having a second day museum, which will feature some of the historical societies from around the area, from Meadville and Corey and that type, just to give everybody a sense of what we do have here in the region. So we're definitely looking forward to that.
Now, is Perry Street Station, let's say June, when you're running Saturday, Sunday, Perry Street, is that only open Saturday, Sunday then? Because sometimes I think people forget that, when people are thinking, I need a neat gift or something different, the amount of really unique items down there is just amazing.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a full enough complement of staff to be open, every day. So we are open just on the weekends. However, Jim is always down around there doing something, or Carol is down there working on something. So you'd be surprised how many knocks at the door, they will answer. And, we do, of course, on the front deck, we have a large assortment of regional and local pamphlets for things that everybody can do, from going to Drakewell, shopping uptown and that type of stuff. But yes, we would like to get to the place where we are open, full time. But
we take the kids in there, and you just spend hours.
Yeah.
Just walking around and looking at all the really neat items.
There's some really neat stuff in there. We have a very unique collection of railroad lanterns that we've had for some time, and we are going to be repositioning them so that they get more of an eye view, so that when you come in, you really can see the impact of how they hit you, the different, from New York and Lake Erie and Baltimore and Ohio, and just with the red glass and the amber glass, and it's quite.
I enjoy all of the things that are on display there. As you well know, my brother's a volunteer,
yes.
And so he's been trying to get me to be a volunteer for years. I come up and I drive him up, I drive him back. I spend a lot of time on weekends waiting.
Do.
so I get a chance to.
That's where we get caught up a little bit.
Yeah, you and I get to talk a little while I get to sit and wait.
I'm so sorry, Betty.
Okay. You started him, huh?
But the items that are on display, I always, they don't change much from year to year, but it seems like I see something different each time.
Right.
And I imagine it's just kind of what piques the interest,
Of different people. We have, what is it called? A dancing Jenny. And it's a coffee pot that was used on the cabooses when they would travel. They would make their coffee, and it's called a dancing Jenny. And I had no idea what this particular thing was, but it was an collector's item that was donated to us by a gentleman whose family originally was from the Titusville area, but he's from the North Carolina area now. So he's been very generous in some of his donations of equipment and odd little unique things like that the general public likes to look at. And we do accept donations of railroad items. At one point, when we first started out, we became the collection point. If anybody had something old they wanted to give us, but we had to kind of switch gears a little bit and just concentrate solely on train items. And we have a large collection of pictures. We try to rotate those every year. And
I think it's amazing that even today, with the technology that we have and just the outside distractions, that kids, families can still get excited about playing with a train,
right,
or taking them down and actually seeing the train or riding on the train. What is it about trains, do you think, that just captures your attention?
I don't know whether it's a simplicity of them, but there's nothing better than watching the young boys, particularly in that 4 to 6 year age group, or maybe even younger than that, they have become, with technology, they have become acquainted with trains through Thomas the Train.
Right.
So they just get so excited when they are there early, and they see the engine moving around and backing up, or the train coming back from the south. It's just they can't control themselves sometimes, and it's just.
We were in the habit of every fall we would take the kids down to Strasburg, and they have the Thomas the Train event. Of course, the Pennsylvania Train Museum's there, and they have the Toy Train Museum. It really is amazing. We're talking thousands of families.
Oh, absolutely.
And we go into the train museum, which is, I swear, it's the size of Carter Field, all indoors, and you see all these great trains. But you go in and you get information, and you start reading about trains, and I just can't help to think, oh my gosh, Titusville has, this, and Titusville has, and you just get very proud, and it's very exciting.
You absolutely do, and it's very, I get very excited, when people will tell me that they're coming on vacation from Wisconsin, and they're headed on their way to New York City, but they wanted to come ride the train on there.
Wow.
We've had a lot of folks do that, and we've had a lot of international folks who come down, and of course we have a lot of folks who come from the Canadian area. So, we try to do some most of our marketing is done outside of the community. That's to pull the visitor in.
So what grabs their attention? Is it in addition to the train, is it the history? Is it the scenery? Because, I look at Strasburg, and it's beautiful. It's flat. You have a lot of farms and Amish, and, that's a nice ride. But here you're going through the valley. In the fall, it's the leaves. I mean, it's the history.
The history, and in the fall particularly, with the leaves and everything, because we do cross over 5 bridges. They're not real tall bridges, but they're still up there. But we go across 5 bridges on the way from Perry Street Station to the Wren Farm Station. And sometimes Oil Creek is on the right-hand side of the train, and sometimes it's on the left-hand side of the train. So, people will get a little confused as to where they're sitting because they're not sure where they are, but they just love it. Men particularly, I have to say this, they primarily are the train buffs in the family quite frequently, and they come because they want to see an old train, and while ours is not a steam engine, which we wish we could bring in more frequently, but
that was a big event.
That was a big event. But we do have an Alco S2, and it's an antique. We have a vintage railroad. We do not have a modern railroad, even though we have what we call our first class car. It's still a first-class vintage car, so that those people from the bigger cities who are accustomed to first-class things, don't expect something brand new when they get here. We bring a lot of families together. We have a lot of family reunions who come. You'll see first, second, and third. I think I'm on my 3rd generation, a couple families who come to ride the train every year. It's just.
But there's also the open car, and you don't see that a lot.
No, you don't. And our open gondola car is much different than the one from Strasburg and some of the other railroads, because ours does not have benches or seating in it. You do have to stand up. And we do that for security purposes, because, we don't want someone standing up on a bench and maybe falling or, how people are sometimes. So we do it as a security measure.
I was going to say, around Thanksgiving last year, I had the opportunity to ride on a railroad in Nevada. There was a line that was built down to the Hoover Dam that was there to bring material back and forth. Now it's the Southern Nevada Railway Museum, and they do have a couple of open cars like that. They're covered as well.
Right.
And I thought that was pretty good, because when they run, sometimes it's terribly hot.
Oh, yes.
So the cover's important. But while the ride was nice, it wasn't as long.
No, well, that's the way with Strasburg's ride. We hear a lot of folks who say they really like Strasburg, but they say, well, it's only a 45-minute trip down through farmland. You don't see anything, where we get to see the trees, the beauty of the trees, the water. If it's rained, we get to see waterfalls coming out of the rocks, going down through there.
Sometimes you can even smell the crude oil,
Yeah, when you go past the acid works, just past the Drakewood, you can still smell it.
But you hear the derricks. I mean, it's really quite amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful ride.
Yeah, it is. It is a very nice ride. It's a very relaxing ride.
It is.
You mentioned about the length of it. Sometimes with smaller, people are concerned about bringing smaller children, but because the train has just that little rocking feel to it, we very, very rarely have any children who cry or anything like that. And it's amazing when you walk through the train as it's northbound to see how many people are taking naps. One year, we had a local photographer here from the Titusville Herald was on taking a nap. So I took his photo, and for those who know our former Lou Adelson, who was our champion, I've got him taking naps. So one year I took pictures of probably about 12 or 15 people just snoozing, on the way back.
Oh, that's great.
Interesting collage.
Well, but you know what? That's funny because when we would take the kids down there, you'd be running around or going into the gift shops, or you'd spend an hour and a half, 2 hours in the train museum.
Right.
So you'd be walking that whole time. So getting on the train was great because the kids would pass out, and you just got to sit and relax. So yeah, you're right.
Right. It's just something that anybody of any age. We had an 83-year-old woman ride a couple years ago. She'd never been on a train. She was coming for her birthday.
Oh wow.
And one of the things that we do, I think that is especially nice, is the fact that we do have a very large following of, I don't want to really call them handicapped individuals, but challenged individuals. And this is a nice outing that they can go on. And, they don't have to have a lot of movement, but they can spend an afternoon and come and, from Polk and some of the different places like that.
And it is very accessible. Everything is built just for that.
Yes.
Well, not only that, but everybody there is so friendly. And it's not like, okay, stay behind this line and you do, here it's, that's amazing. Would you like to see, a part of this?
Right.
Come here. Let me show you.
Yeah.
It's different. It really is inviting. It's
your
friendly.
The conductor's wonderful. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Dick, yeah.
Dick is the conductor now.
He loves to talk with folks. And I love watching him when the train comes into the station. He goes through this ritual, and it's the same thing every time, but he's got these beautiful leather gloves on, and he's got the uniform, and there's the radio and the hat, and he's counting down the number of feet, and all that kind of thing. And it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It really is. I get a real kick out of that.
Yeah, and our tour guides, which are kind of the heart of our volunteers for that particular day on the train. They all tell their stories. That they have particular things that they zero in on, the different eras and different years that they want to talk about, and different things. And so each one of their stories is totally different. In addition, we have the tape that's our backup that plays about every 7 minutes. Gives you tidbits of approximately where you are in the valley. With a train that's as long as it is, each of the cars are 70 feet in length, and when you have 8 of those cars on plus the engine, you can't always hit the rock
right
at the same place.
Right.
But the tour guides are very nice because what I especially like them to do is to walk up and down the aisles and talk to the people. individually, and you'd be surprised, the stories that they tell you, and find out where they're from, and they'll tell you all about their families and why they're there and that type of thing. So,
will the historical reenactors be back this year? The ones that did the World War II?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. That will be coming on June 21st, and it is going to be a fantastic time. We were really pleased with everything that happened last year. We did the reenactment 2 days, but the reenactors only want to do it 1 day this year, so it will be, the reenactment itself will be done on Saturday, June the 21st, I believe. But on Friday evening, we are going to have a very nice event going on down there. We're going to honor World War II veterans particularly, and anyone else who is in the service. We're going to have a special program set up at Perry Street Station. We will have seating for the elderly World War II people who are going to be coming. We'll have music for them. The mayor of Titusville is going to read a proclamation. We're going to have the honor guards from the VFW and the other places in town. And that's all free to the public to come down and take advantage of that. That will be at 6 o'clock in the evening. And then they have the opportunity, because the reenactors from Erie will be coming in and going to set up out in the back. So once they're finished, with the ceremony and all of that, then they have the opportunity to go out and talk one-on-one with the reenactors as they get set up.
Well, their encampment last year was really something. It was very realistic.
Yes, very, very, very realistic. And, they probably will be bringing their Jeep, and what they do is they bring a Jeep that I'd love to have.
I know. I've looked and looked.
If somebody wants to donate one.
Yes, we'll take it. And they come in and they put some of their reenactors on the Jeep, and they ride around town to kind of pique everybody's interest, and try to get them to come down and ride the train. And then the battle itself is done at Wren Farm Station. Now, we don't permit people to board the train at Wren Farm during that time. If you have somebody elderly who would like to participate in it and see the battle, but they don't want to ride the train itself and it's too long a ride for them, we recommend that they go to the Petroleum Center station and they can buy what we call a short trip ticket, and that will take them from Petroleum Center station, where things will also be happening with the reenactors, take them down to Wren Farm, and then we'll bring them back to Petroleum Center. And that, I think is a very good feature that we offer for, and I think that ticket's like $5 or $6.
Oh, wow.
So, I know we have some people from town who say, well, my dad would like to go, but, it's too long of a ride for him.
So this is a way they could.
That's a way they can do it. Drive down to Petroleum Center, and, we'll be stopping the train there because there will be a skirmish that's going on at Petroleum Center as well.
Yeah, I was on the train with the German troops last year, and the American prisoners.
Right.
And we got some very good footage of that, and we were able to record some of the skirmish on the way down. Very realistic.
Oh,
really,
very good.
Very realistic,
Right.
very well done. This time I'm hoping maybe to be on the other side. I want to be with the American forces this time, and maybe film from the other side, because you get the other side of the story.
Right.
So I think it'll be fun. It's just very action-packed.
It is very, very action-packed. There's no question about it. We do have to take some precaution, because last year they had a Nazi flag that they wanted to fly, and we had some criticism on that. So we're making a change there. We want to honor what our passengers would like to see, but it's one of the action-packed events of the season. Then on Saturday night, there's going to be a dance at the local VFW, and they are providing the all the events that are going to go on over there. So we hope that will bring a lot of extra people downtown. And in addition to that, we're working with the Titusville Chamber, trying to put together a ration book that we can make and pass out to all the people who are riding the train and to the merchants downtown. And hopefully, we can get people to participate a little bit better on that. And the rationing book for those, who remember it,
right,
is great.
That was neat to see. We were down at the VFW that Saturday night, and I think we were handed one just to look at.
Right,
and that was
right.
Fascinating.
And we've made a program this year. We're still looking for some support on and help with it, but we've got a 4-page flyer, so to say, that tells people about the World War II, and it will be featuring some of the local veterans from Titusville.
Oh, wow.
And just giving all types of information. So it's a handout so that the kids can take it back to school. They can have it for, when they have their, what did you do this summer?
Right.
that type of thing.
Now, this is a clip from last year, and this is in the open car.
Yes.
So, and what's amazing is that folks from the train can actually be out there while this is going on.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, you do. You get to talk with the reenactors. Mm-hmm. You get to interact with them a little bit. You're not allowed to talk to the prisoners.
No.
But it was interesting. In the post office car was kind of like the headquarters.
Yes.
They had their maps spread out. There were plans.
Mm-hmm.
That was sort of the command center. It was interesting to see.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was busy up front, so I really didn't get to see a whole lot of it, to be perfectly honest with you. When you're behind the scenes on those types of things, you don't always get to see the action and see what's going on. But
and even when the folks coming into Perry Street Station, we had the clip there. So, yeah, that you want that Jeep right there? We'll just wrap that up for you.
Yeah. That would be nice.
There were a couple of others there too.
There were a couple others.
The Deuce and a Quarter is a pretty good truck too.
Right.
But the Jeeps were in remarkably good condition.
Yes.
And you can see why they were easy to take.
Yes.
There's no key to start them. You just get in and hit the starter button down on the floor.
Now, are you looking for volunteers to help this summer, or are you pretty well set?
No, we are always looking for volunteers. We're definitely in need of particularly volunteers who like to tell the history of the area. They don't have to work every weekend. Some people work once a month. Some people work. We have one individual who works on the open car, Jerry Wright. He has been with us for 20-some years, and he is there all but maybe 3 days out of the whole season.
Wow.
We have other folks who come every weekend and midweek as well, but we do need volunteers to be on the train to, either kind of act as car hosts or as an actual tour guide, by talking about some of the different things that happen in this area with the oil and railroad, because they do kind of go hand in hand with what we're doing. And we also need help, grounds and maintenance stuff. That there's always something that needs to be done. Painting, it's just a chore keeping the cars painted, because when you get that many people walking back and forth on the floors, they have to be painted about every other year. We try to alternate on what we're doing with that, and painting the interior of the car, because again, they are vintage and they're not heated or anything, so they sit in the winter time, so they do take a little bit of a beating. But I'd have to say that's probably where we need a lot of help this year, is some of the painting on the inside.
And how can folks get a hold of you?
They can just call the regular number to the office, which is 676-1733, and let them know that they're interested in volunteering, and then we'll have the proper person, get a hold of them, depending on what they want to do.
All right.
You know, people to work in the concession stand. We always need people to, you know, do hot dogs and popcorn and that type of stuff, and people to sell the souvenirs. You know, because we do work on a very limited staff of our own. So, yeah, like I said, even if you could put one day a month, one day a week, you know.
That's a big help.
Yes, it is a very big help. Because, believe it or not, for us to run, it takes approximately 25 people
Wow.
doing a very different things, you know, in order for us to pull out of the station. So, and a lot of people don't see that, you know.
That's incredible.
So if you have some extra time, come see us.
Alrighty. Betty Squire?
And if you come and join us, we do offer rides for family rides for volunteers so that they can bring their family sometime each month that they work.
Very nice. Alrighty. The OC&T getting underway, and of course the Peter Cottontail Express next Saturday. Alrighty. Betty, thank you so much for joining us. Please come back.
Okay, I will.
Always good to see you.
I will. I have lots more stuff, so I'll be back and talk to you again.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay.
Alrighty, coming up next, we'll recap this week in sports with Bruce Peterson. That's next when the morning drill continues right after this.